Fun fact, chocolate is poisonous for dogs. I'm a master chocolatier. Ask me anything about making sweets. Greetings, Reddit. I'm chef and master chocolatier Julian Rose of Moonstruck Chocolate, an artisan chocolate company based in Portland, Oregon. I have been making pastries, chocolates, confections and other sweets for more than 3 decades. I was director of the Berry Callebaut Chocolate Academy in Quebec for 8 years, a professional training center specialized in chocolate, and one of only 15 such schools in the world. More than anything, I have a passion for incorporating many of the unique, gourmet flavors I discover locally and abroad, such as beer, champagne, basil, or curry, into my recipes. I've just returned from an international culinary festival and would love to answer any questions you have about making confections or what it takes to become a master chocolatier. Experimenting with flavors. Have you ever created something that was unexpectedly disgusting? What was it? Have you created something you expected to be disgusting, but it turned out delicious? Yes, in both cases. Years ago, I mixed foie gras in a truffle, expecting to be horrible, but it was actually very nice. On the bad side, at a dinner party at my house I received a dare of how spicy can you make a chocolate? I added about a tablespoon of ghost pepper to dark chocolate and no one could eat it. Is I'm a master chocolatier the greatest pickup line ever? Well, yes it is. I've heard guys want to be me and girls want to be with me. Try it, it works. How do you become a master chocolatier? I was trained in Canada and Europe in pastries and chocolate. Then I specialized in chocolate, and in Canada and Europe there is such a thing as having a certificate as a master chocolatier. In the US, it hasn't been as defined, so pretty much anybody could call themselves a master chocolatier. Can being a chocolatier be a hobby from home? If so, what's involved? So yes, you can do it from home, but you could not commercially sell from your home. Most importantly, are you hiring any tasters? We are not hiring tasters, we just take volunteers for that. Sign me up. What is the best way to integrate coffee and chocolate? As grounds, as liquid, or some mysterious third way? My feeling is that the best way to incorporate coffee and chocolate is by using a coffee paste. Chocolate is fat-based, cocoa butter, sugar, cocoa powder, etc. and there is no easy way to mix liquid coffee to pure chocolate. That would create an irreversible mixture. Think of water and oil. A coffee paste has no water, thus making it very compatible with chocolate without the grit of simply ground coffee. This third way is my favorite coffee flavoring ingredient. What would you say is the best chocolate brand you can buy in grocery stores nationwide? Not some obscure brand that's only sold at specialty stores, but something that is easy to find at all/most major grocers across the US. This is a question I get asked all the time. It is going to sound generic, but the best chocolate to buy is the one you love. Because the assortment on the market is so wide, if I say I love Cluizel or Valrhona, that is only my flavor preference. But it doesn't mean that they are the best. It is very subjective. But you can always try Moonstruck chocolates. What's the best super fast and super easy recipe for sweets? What's your favorite unusual flavor of ice cream to make? Unwrap your favorite chocolate bar and eat it. That's the easiest recipe. I've made slightly savory ice cream with a mix of fresh herbs and tomato. Try to paint in your head a slightly sweet tomato soup, but frozen. I serve that as a Traun almond. What that is between heavy meals you have a little break to cleanse the palate. So just have a small scoop with a splash of your favorite liquor. One I enjoy with this is a pepper vodka. You're in a grocery store and you get a hankering for some chocolate. Which bar do you reach for? I definitely like a chocolate bar. To have nuts or crisp is awesome kind of inclusion. I want to have fun eating chocolate and the experience of texture is part of my enjoyment. Now that you work with chocolate so much, do you still enjoy eating it? Or are you utterly sick of the taste and smell of it by now? No, I still love eating chocolate every day. I would compare it to saying to an office worker, are you sick of your computer and never touch a computer outside of work? I eat chocolate every day. Have you used liquid nitrogen before? Yes. The value of having an extremely cold medium to play with chocolate allows the chocolatier to create decorations simply by drizzling a stream of chocolate in the liquid nitrogen to create the most amazing, delicate coral lace structure that you cannot do any other way. Again, this would be used in competition, but not commercially repeatable. What creates the different flavors of chocolate among brands? From what I understand, which isn't much, a chocolate bar is just a few basic ingredients mixed a certain way. So why does Ghirardelli chocolate have such a different flavor than say Lindt, for example? Most of the flavor differences in chocolate are because of the origin of cocoa beans used in making the chocolate. Think of wine from different regions having different flavors. Chocolatiers like Ghirardelli blend different origins of beans and process their chocolate differently from Lindt, although they are the same company now. Chocolate recipes can be quite distinct in flavor, even if it's just a handful of flavors. Roasting cocoa beans also will influence the flavor. Think of coffee beans, deep roast, light roast, medium roast, all different flavors with the same bean. It is virtually the same in chocolate. Origin, blend, roast and process will all influence the flavor. What is the weirdest use of chocolate where you thought to yourself, nope, this isn't going to work at all, but turned out amazing? The weirdest use of chocolate was at a Cirque du Soleil special event in Montreal, their home base, where they had me fill a kiddie pool with chocolate and there was a bodybuilding couple drenched in chocolate and the guests were invited to take strawberries and scoop the chocolate off their bodies. You can imagine the rest. What has been the most interesting shape or figure created from chocolate that you have made or seen? When I was younger, I competed in several of those events you see on the Food Network, but this was the 1980s, so there was no Food Network yet. We had to create chocolate sculptures on a theme and there were many innovative shapes and figures. However, I must say what we see today in competitions far exceeds what we used to. The difference today is that a whole team of experts like architects and engineers are involved in pushing the limits. You see now balancing acts challenging structural integrity of chocolate, and some of those sculptures blow my mind. If you had to eat 100 duck-sized horses chocolate bars or one horse-sized duck chocolate bar, which would you choose? I'd probably go with a one horse-sized duck chocolate bar. One horse size seems smaller than 100 duck size to me. I like white chocolate. What are some interesting things I can do with it at home? White chocolate is sweet and neutral. It has a vanilla and milk flavor, so it works great with pancakes, cookies, fruits, even ice cream. Something fun you can try is to spread some melted white chocolate on a piece of bread and put it in a toaster oven, chocolate side up, and toast until golden brown. It will give you a caramel flavor that's quite incredible. Of course, be careful not to burn your tongue. What's the most expensive chocolate you've ever had? Did it live up to the price tag? The most expensive chocolate bar I've had was $35 for 4 ounces. It did not live up to the price tag. As I said earlier, preference does not have a price. What's your favorite candy, both that you made or that you've ever had? One of my favorite childhood candies was molasses taffy. It's actually an old-fashioned, poor man's candy that is quite popular in Quebec. My favorite candy to make always involves roasted hazelnuts and a blend of dark and milk chocolate. A little sweet, a little deep and a little nutty, the perfect combo. I have been touting honey as the new salted caramel in terms of dessert trends, and on the front page of your site I see some very cute honey truffles. How did you decide on that flavor? Honey has its place in confectionery, and as the market is demanding more natural ingredients, we can actually use honey in place of corn syrup, for instance. Honey does not react the same way in a recipe as corn syrup, but we can manage to substitute a sweetener with honey to bring that distinct flavor. Of course, honey is much more expensive than other sweeteners. I personally love honey with milk chocolate. This is how our honey biz you saw came to be. Pun intended. I make candy for Christmas. Whenever I try to cover something with chocolate, it goes cloudy when it cools and or doesn't set properly. I've triple checked the temperature, melt the chocolate in a water bath. Why am I failing? It's all about the cocoa butter fat not being stable. So you might have read or heard about tempering chocolate. This is not simply melting to a specific temperature. It's actually a process to first melt, then cool down while stirring, preferably on a marble or granite surface, to create the correct crystal form. That is true tempering. You can YouTube how to temper chocolate and find a lot of examples. The cloudiness you are getting on your candy is directly linked to the cocoa butter not being stable. It's a great learning curve to make chocolate at home, but it's doable. Have you seen the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Hell yeah. But that's not quite how it all happens in a chocolate factory. More Oompa Loompas involved. Got it. Have you ever made chocolate using savory ingredients? If so, what and what did it taste like? Yes, great question. We just released about 6 months ago our savory truffle collection. Here I used ingredients such as porcini mushroom, hot curry, figs, tomato, and basil. These savory truffles look like little mushrooms to prepare your palate for a new umami experience. So it's not sweet and it's not salty, but it's savory. And the blend of these ingredients with chocolate is a new experience for your taste buds. I also experimented with black olives and dark chocolate, and that's amazing. So I made a bar with black olives and almonds.